This is a central heating expansion tank, and that is incorrect. This is a potable water expansion tank, and this is correct. This has stainless steel, this isn't, so you can get rusty water. So I'm taking this out and putting this one in. I have this hooked up to a bicycle pump. It's full of water, and this expansion tank would have pushed all the water out, and yet there is loads of water in it. Let me demonstrate. That's me pumping up the expansion tank. So I'm beginning to think that maybe it had failed, or I'd never pumped it up. Doesn't matter really, because it's not appropriate for this setup. Yeah, the diaphragm's burst. Calorifier. So we only have this one and this one to fit, and this is for the radiator. So I have my, what does this label say? It looks like return, and this one is the outward heels. So that pipe goes all the way through the bulkhead and to where the diesel heater is going to be. So hot water comes in here. I will send the hot water through the calorifier. I don't know which way yet. It doesn't really matter. And then it will go off to the radiators. So the point of all of this is that the hot water coming from the diesel heater goes directly through the calorifier and then heads off to the radiators. So no matter how many radiators are on or off, the calorifier always gets the first supply of hot water. This will mean that the radiators will take a little bit longer to heat up because the calorifier will be sucking heat out of it. If I want heat, I always have the stove, and that will give me instant heat. But when you're in bed, cozy at night, and at 6 o'clock, maybe even 5, the diesel heater heats up, and then slowly the boat temperature rises, and you will always have a hot tank of water for the shower. The lovely shower. Currently these hoses are 25 mil, and I need to convert them down to 15 mil, and then it'll correspond with that. Probably do it that way. Hello. So, here's the plan. In Georgia, a hot water pipe goes into the radiator, fills up the radiator, and then carries on and on to the next radiator, and the next one, and the next one, and then it returns back to the heater. So it just does one single loop. You can't turn any of the radiators off, because if you do that, you shut off all the subsequent radiators. So you calculated the size you needed, the unit, the heater system, and calculated how many radiators to dissipate the heat generated from it. But now we have variable heating systems. So just like a house, we can go modern. All of the hot water comes into the calorifier through the loop and comes straight out. And this is the beginning of where we start connecting up radiators. I mean, when I say start connecting up radiators, I don't have any radiators. But we're going to put the piping in so that we can cover this and shut it down. This one is the return. And that goes to a radiator under here. And the radiator goes underneath this step with a big grill, may even put a grill here, and the heat will be right in the middle of the room. So right there will just be one long fin radiator, and the heat coming in to the center of the room, heating up both the diner and the kitchen. And that's what a fin radiator looks like. That is a return for the radiator here in the toilet, which will be sort of in here. This radiator might just be a simple coil of copper in the bathroom, as there's very little space. And it may also have to be permanently open for the calorifier to get water and to return back to the heater. It does need some sort of bypass, and this will be the bypass. So right in there, there's a hot, there's the return, and that's for a little radiator there. And there's the hot, and there's the return for a radiator there. So the last thing is to send this hot that way, and that return also that way. And they can just sort of be capped off. And then we can cover this again. All the pipework in there, sorted. Now it's time to insulate. So first of all, I'm going to just put spray foam into these cracks and cover up this steel. The insulation I'm putting in is to make sure that in the summertime my water tanks stay cool, and in the wintertime they stay nice and toasty and warm. The black water tank is going to be the same, insulated against the cold and the heat, and my calorifier will get an extra layer of insulation, sort of to separate the calorifier from the black water tank. And the black water tank will be insulated against the fin radiator. I'm fitting these wall panels up for possibly the last time, thus I'm cutting out the space for the alcove. Hopefully this is the last time I put these up. But there is also the possibility I've completely forgotten something fundamental. Alcove. I need a light source and I need a plug for computers. Look at this one. This is how things are changing. USB, and USB-C, and a little voltmeter. Might have got some insulation there. The cable is thick copper and tinned, so that's good for corrosion, the tinning, by the way. And it just means my laptop, my phone, anything that I want to charge off this thing will have plenty of juice, so it's never going to run out of juice or have voltage drop, because the journey from that socket to here is so short. And also, it's in the diner. I'm going to be spending probably a lot of time sitting at the diner with the computer. And that's for the light, but not for today. It is time. This is an ellipse, and that is a hole. I need to take a bit out of there. That's it. Absolutely flat. So, yeah, I want to clean all this rust. This is the header tank for the heating system, and the most practical position for it is here in the gas locker. It'll be higher than any of the radiators, and the heating system is just behind the wall there. I could put it there and that'd be nice and high, but that would look stupid. And there's nowhere inside the boat that I have a space that I can put it up high. That again doesn't look stupid. So this is the best place. This is a stopper. I don't need two outlets. This is just one single. That closes that. The heater is connected, the fuel hose is connected, the air hose is connected, and the exhaust is connected. I want to tidy up the fuel hoses, they need to be shortened. The plumbing is really simple, but I'm waiting on connectors. Where that comes out, we'll meet up with this hose, we'll connect to the heater, and then there will be another pipe coming out connecting to that other hose. I do want to make a T that heads off into the old cabin. The cabin looks like this. And there's the door out. A radiator just here. However, this is not a priority. I can do that at a later date. Here are some of the connectors I'm going to use. What I'm going to do now is clear this and put them here. I've got as far as I can in this video to put together the central heating system. The plumbing for the heating system does need to be completed, and it really can't be completed until I get the radiators. So they're going to be next. However, we're at a really interesting place with Linda, because once the radiators go in and we turn the heating on, all the utilities in this boat are in place. The oven works fine. The water system works just fine. And I recently replaced that dodgy pump with a more powerful pump, and now the system works really well. In the bathroom, I have this switch. This button that lights up sends electricity to the button on the outside of the boat that turns the macerator pump on and pumps the sewage out. The point of this is to prevent anybody from walking past and pressing the button and pumping the sewage out. This is the bilge pump for the shower, working. This table here is a table that was on Linda when I bought her. Really, the table needs to be up to this level, and then it's practical. And then the alcove suddenly makes sense because the alcove is underneath the table with access here at the sides. So then the question is, what's next? Well, I have to clear space in that area to put in the radiators. And to do that, I need to clear that enormous pile of wood over there. And that is wood that is to finish off all of this. So I have windowsills sitting in that pile for all 4 windows here. I have plywood for the walls, loads of battening, and I have all the fancy wood that I got really cheap to do all the edging, because as you can see, all the wood in here is classical wood from St. Giles Cripplegate in the City of London, and I have now got all of this beading which will finish it off, make the rest of this plywood look like it's classical. This will be painted, all plywood will be painted, and all the good wood will be left as wood. So it'll be a mixture of painted and wood. Looking forward, once I get the radiators installed, we can turn the heater system on, and then we have hot water, and we're ready to rock and roll on Linda. It will be literally just about fitting her out. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Like and subscribe. We have some interesting stuff coming up, so stay tuned. I'm going on a fishing expedition in the Netherlands in a traditional fishing boat.